So with New Zealand Music Month happening at the moment, of course, there's a whole bunch of great bands you can go out and watch. But here on NZOWN, we've decided to get behind the music a little bit and have a chat to Sean Aicken, who is putting on the exhibition Sounds Like a Blur, which is basically documenting about 4 years so far of rock and roll history as told through his camera lens. Sean, how you doing, mate?
Not too bad, not too bad. Seems we're through into it now.
Yes. Okay, now let's talk about your photography. When did you start out as a photographer, and specifically a rock and roll photographer?
I was born into photography, so always been around cameras and always been into photography. Music photography, probably about 6 years ago, started really getting into it, and then 5 years ago actually pursuing gigs and going out and shooting regularly, 2-3 nights a week kind of thing, shooting through a lot of film, and yeah, just about 5 years I've been doing it now.
Wow. Was there any great influence, I mean, apart from that being around in your family, but more specifically in the music sense? I don't know, like, did you read, sort of books by Mick Rock or Annie Leibovitz or people like that?
Yeah, I mean, Annie is a huge influence on all photographers, I think, with her portrait style. But closer to home, the likes of Gary Brandon, who is now Real Groove's chief photographer, and Blink, Ian Jorgensen, those two really started it off for me. I remember reading about Gary Brandon shooting in a New Zealand Journal of Photography, and that's pretty much where it clicked. Then I moved to Wellington and met up with Blink, and yeah, they've both kind of helped me through to where I am now.
So how does a rock and roll photographer get started? I mean, it's very easy to go out there and go to your favourite gigs and jostle for pole position up the front and snap away. But where do you go from there?
Basically, it's soliciting all the magazines. You kind of give your images to anybody who'll take them. Is the best way to do it. Just say, go out, shoot a gig, and see if anybody else has covered it. And if they haven't, then just start sending them to editors. You're probably not going to get any money for it for quite a while. I still haven't. But just start giving them to bands, giving them CDs, like the next time you see them and stuff like that. If you get on the band side, then you're pretty much well suited to be able to keep shooting.
Do you shoot with digital or an analog camera?
All analog, all film. I shoot with a couple of Nikons and on Fujifilm. I haven't really shot much digital. I do shoot it every now and then just to test it to see if it'll suffice. But when you've got a situation like this where you've got extreme darks and then extreme highlights, digital can't really handle that yet. It will get to a stage where it can, and then I'll make the switch. But for now, being on film is what I love.
Cool. Now, doing something like what you do and doing it with proper film stock and everything, does it make it slightly harder when there's sort of the rise of internet photo sites and that sort of thing, your party photo and that sort of thing happening?
Yep, it does. I try to shoot on film for a couple of reasons, mainly just the feel of it. With the whole digital rise and stuff like that, there is a lot of people out there shooting digital, and they'll come away from a gig shooting 2,000 or 3,000 images. Probably not that much, but you're talking 5 to 1,000 images easily, whereas I shoot, say, 3 rolls of film, so you've got 36 on each, so you kind of have to pick your images and pick your moments. It's also quite a challenge knowing that you've only got 36 shots and the band's got 5 more songs to go, and you just got to kind of work out when you're going to shoot, stuff like that. It does also make it harder. The rise of digital is a worrying one, but I'll just jump on the bandwagon when I need to.
Yeah. Now, you're just saying there, you have to really wait for the right moment and everything, but looking around this room, you've captured some awesome moments within New Zealand rock and roll. For you personally, what have been some of the highlights? Just you think, oh, I can't believe I actually got that on film.
Probably the Mint Chicks photo with the chainsaw, where carved down a banner on stage. That was pretty surreal. Especially, I had quite a wide lens on, and it distorted my perspective. And I didn't realize how close I was to the chainsaw whilst photographing until I pulled my camera down and realized that we were almost as close as we are now to a chainsaw and a musician on stage. So that was amazing. And just pretty much any of the images here are my personal favourites. Every single one here is personally chosen by me because I love it. I love the image, and I just want to show people what the bands are like live, just captured in a split second.
Excellent. In terms of your own ambitions, do you want to keep capturing New Zealand bands and just document New Zealand bands throughout the ages, or do you kind of want to make your way as a rock photographer?
Bit of both. My next goal for the next year or so is to, down at San Francisco Bathhouse, get more backstage access and try and document what goes on and who goes through those doors. The backstage stuff, the stuff that we don't really see unless we pick up a Rolling Stone, where you see like all the old greats just sitting around in the green room and stuff like that. So I'm wanting to do that and capture the backstage perspective a little bit more. But I will always love shooting the front of house stuff. It's what I enjoy doing, and that's my primary passion, is that. And then also move into portraits of bands and stuff like that. Cool. That's what I'm working towards, the portraits and the backstage stuff for the next year.
Excellent. Okay, well, look, the Sounds Like a Blur exhibition is on now at the Schooner, running through till the 18th of May, and after that it will be heading down to the San Francisco Bathhouse, opening night the 21st.
The closing gig, where we've got 3 bands, Bonnie Scarlet's, Ghost Train and Knife Fight, will be the 31st. So that'll be the finishing up. So the Auckland has the opening gig, or had the opening gig, sorry, and then Wellington has the closing gig.
Excellent. So okay, and if people want to find out more about you, Sean, have you got a website they can go to?
Yep, they could go to darklight.net.nz or go to the Sounds Like a Blur MySpace at myspace.com/Sounds Like a Blur.
Awesome. There you go. Thank you very much, Sean, for coming on NZOWN. And let's go now, to one of the bands that are up somewhere around the wall. We'll just pick one at random like that. You're on NZOWN.